interest is not Sharia compliant. So you need to have an underlying activity, an underlying transaction to justify why are you generating income. You cannot just charge interest outright. So it has to be structured in a way that complies with Sharia. It has to be invested and funding something that is complying with Sharia. And these are the two dimensions. And under them, there is huge differences. So whether gambling, whether alcohol, tobacco, weapons industry, all of these are not allowed.
More and more investors, be they retail or be they institutional, are looking for alternatives to the mainstays of their saving behavior, which tends to be bank deposits or in some cases direct real estate investments. And I think what we're seeing around the world, and in particular in the Islamic markets, is that there is a strong level of demand, and that this level of demand has outpaced the level of demand around the world. And we saw that those funds grew by about 84% over the last 3 years, compared with about 68% for conventional funds around the world, for non-Sharia mutual funds. There is probably a low base effect here. The total assets under management in mutual funds around the world are approximately $68 trillion US. I'll repeat that, $68 trillion. Whereas the total amount under management in Islamic funds we've been able to identify, but we estimated about 130 billion at the end of 2021. So there is a material difference, but the growth rate is faster.
If we look at the top 10 countries that are issuing Sukuk, so it's mainly the GCC, so the Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, and Kuwait, plus Malaysia, Indonesia, Turkey, and Pakistan. So if we look at these countries and look at the Sukuk issuance, it is around 25% of their issuance. So it's a significant part, but it's not the dominant part. You have to bear in mind that the development story of the debt capital market is recent in most of them. So at the end of the day, is it a Sukuk issue only, or a development story of how these countries are really funding themselves? And the actual answer, you'll find that in most of the countries, specifically in the GCC, they've just recently started, or relatively recently started, issuing bonds, let alone Sukuk. The UK is really entering into that because they're already a Western Islamic finance hub, and they want to cement that by having that angle of Sukuk. They are one of the largest international listings, so London Stock Exchange harbors and hosts a lot of Sukuk and Islamic bonds from the international side. You have a lot of legal firms, you have a lot of bankers, you have a lot of knowledge and industry knowledge that is also housed in the UK. And on top of that, majority of Sukuk and even international syndications are governed by English law. So at the end of the day, the UK is entering into the market to attract and to maintain its Western hub, Islamic finance Western hub status.